Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It's Tuesday morning, it's very overcast, it's been raining overnight and it's trying to rain again, so we will talk quickly so we don't get poured down on. So my last two videos in 2 days, I've been talking about grandma's lies, or is it the lies that people have told after speaking to her? It's unclear. The reason why it's unclear is because some of the conversations that have been had between Ziggy Valero, the lady who initially talked to Critical Care back in September, and then more recently Jessica, those conversations weren't recorded. Yes, I know there's some text messages or messenger messages, but they don't tell the story of what Jessica and Ziggy have said that Grandma told them. So yeah, you can point out to me that there's been some proof that they've spoken to Grandma. I know they have, I'm not doubting that. What I'm doubting is the factual nature of the stories. When you're making claims, you've got to provide the proof. And okay, I believe Ziggy Valero when she said she didn't know how to record the conversation, so she took notes. But that's not proof. That wouldn't stand up in a court of law. That can't be used as evidence of wrongdoing, because how would a jury know? How would the court system know that you haven't just made up these notes? I'm not saying you have. I'm just saying it's not proof. So those are my problems that I've got with Ziggy Valero and Jessica's conversations with Grandma. I don't know whether I didn't make that clear enough yesterday, but that's my issue. Now, the person with the proof might not be the one who's totally in the right. So what do I mean by that? Well, if they're saying that Grandma's story to Ziggy and Jessica is a load of bull, then you've got to say, yeah, it most probably is, because there's no proof of it. However, I can absolutely agree with lots of people in my comment section, and then Emma from Crime Stories Obsessed has also made this point, that what if Grandma's playing both sides? And that's a very valid point. We know Candice is a manipulator, but is her mother. Well, we don't know very much about Grandma because she hasn't come out and spoken very often. She's been speaking in private. She's probably been speaking in private to lots of people who haven't spoken out or haven't betrayed her trust. But the first person, at least one of the first people, to say that they've been talking to Grandma, this was in messenger conversations, was Emma from Crime Stories Obsessed. And I remember this as clear as if it was yesterday, that when Emma released those messenger conversations and Grandma was angry that her trust had been betrayed, she said that Emma was lying. She told Don and Candice that Emma had been lying, or she'd been hacked. She gave some BS story anyway, didn't she? Do you remember? It was early on. It was the time when Don was talking to Voices Behind the Wall. I, from the jump, thought that that conversation that Emma showed us all with Grandma was real, because there was the proof. She showed herself logging into her messenger and the conversations there with Grandma's account. It would have had to been a very, very good forgery. So I believe that. I do. So people who are saying, well, Grandma's got a farm here, this is what she did when Emma released her story, couldn't she be doing the same again? She knows that Ziggy and Jessica didn't record the important conversations, the ones where she supposedly gave a different testimony than the script. So it's easy for her to say, no, I haven't been speaking to these people. You know, I blocked them because there's no proof of the other side. Do you get what I'm saying? You're taking it upon yourself to speak to a suspect, and then you, at a later date, come online and you want to tell that story. It might be a really genuine story. It might be one that's really important for law enforcement. Law enforcement might not have ever heard of that story before. You've got to get the proof, or else it isn't worth talking to them at all. So, yeah, Grandma could be playing both sides. She could be lying to Susan and Queen Bee because she feels betrayed by Ziggy Valero and Jessica. She might absolutely have said that to them, but they can't prove it. Someone's definitely lying. But is it Grandma that's lying to both sets of people? Who knows? Or has Grandma told the truth to Ziggy and Jessica, but now she's denying it? Or have they misrepresented what Grandma said? What reason would they have to do that, is my question. What they say broadly fits the timeline, as I've said in previous videos. It is a viable theory as far as the timeline goes. It could have happened as far as the timeline goes. What these two women haven't provided is the proof. So, if you're talking to a suspect, you take it upon yourself to speak to a suspect and you want to release that information. If you haven't got the proof, how useful is it? You could swear up and down, left, right, centre, all day and all night that what that person said to you is true. And it might be, but unless it was recorded, makes no odds. Those are just my thoughts. Yes, Grandma could be playing both sides. Absolutely could be playing both sides. She could realise she's been caught out and she's now taken new people on board. And I know she's been speaking to Susan for a few months, but she might be now using them as a conduit to get out that these other people are lying. It's interesting though why she didn't come out in September and say this, because Ziggy Valero originally spoke on Critical Case Patreon, and a number of us talked about it on YouTube. So was Grandma not paying attention at that time? It was early September. Did she not know about it? Or did she choose to ignore it, thinking it would go away? But now Ziggy and Jessica have come out. She can't ignore it. Did she actually tell Ziggy and Jessica this story and lied to them? Did she tell them a story and it was broadly the truth? We'll never know. We'll never know. That's why police interviews are recorded. Either the audio or video and audio. That's why all police interviews are recorded. For that reason. And I know we're not law enforcement. I know we're not. But again, if you're choosing to interview a suspect or talk to a suspect and then release that information, then this is the reception you're going to be greeted with. So I'm not speaking horribly about anybody. I'm just saying what's on my mind. And you've got to believe the person who provides the proof. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Anyway, I'm keeping this brief. I'm going to call it a day here. I've been Michelle. Hope you're well. It's goodbye from Miss Cassie Springer and, where's she gone? Miss Tillington. Hey. Bye, guys.